Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Thursday the 8th of June. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. All operations at the Jamaica Rifle Association have been suspended. The JRA, in a notice to members, said the shooting range will be closed until further notice. It follows the halt on sales of ammunition and firearm after the revocation of the dealer's license for ex-president Major John Nelson by the Firearm Licensing Authority on Wednesday. Nelson resigned Wednesday amid the development. The suspension notice comes ahead of a scheduled 6 p.m. special general meeting today, where members are expected to elect a new president for the embattled association. The FLA's action follows an investigation into an attempted sale of a 7.62 caliber rifle brought into the island by a Canadian for a shooting competition last October. It is reported that a member of the JRA became interested in the weapon and sought to purchase it. The firearm was left at the storage facility of the JRA. It is further understood that the JRA sought information from the FLA on how a sale could be completed. But the FLA immediately seized the weapon as it was to have left the island with its owner. It is understood that the FLA would have to issue what is called a disposal permit for such a sale to take place, and the arrangement would have had to be made beforehand. It is understood that in addition to the revocation of the dealer's license, there could be charges as the report could be sent to the Commissioner of Police for investigation. The authorities, including the FLA, have been tight-lipped about the development. A 47-year-old American flight attendant has been arrested at the Sangsters International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, for allegedly trying to smuggle cocaine. The woman was preparing to board a flight to New York when security officials conducted a search on her luggage and discovered approximately 1.5 kilograms of cocaine. The street value of the drugs is estimated to be around $14.5 million. 23 children have been placed under state care following allegations of forced marriages and other abuses at the Beth Yahweh compound in St. James. The children, aged between 1 and 17 years old, were taken before the St. James Family Court, and several adults from the facility were detained by the police during an early morning operation. Reports suggest that children were being forced into marriages, humiliated, denied formal education, and living in unfavorable conditions. Residents of the Paradise Gardens community expressed relief at the intervention, citing concerns about the interactions between young girls and older men and the lack of proper sanitation at the compound. Kenroy Hardy, a 41-year-old fugitive wanted in the United States for his alleged involvement in the 2002 murder of a rival drug dealer, has been apprehended in Jamaica. Hardy, also known as Sharky, had fled the US in 2006 and had been working as a taxi driver in Jamaica. He was captured during a raid conducted by the St. Catherine South Division and the Jamaican Fugitive Apprehension Team at his home in Portsmouth, Portmore, St. Catherine. Hardy, who appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court today, was remanded. He will return to court on June 15th. The New York City Police Department had been investigating Hardy's involvement in the shooting death of Altari Felton, and an arrest warrant for murder was issued by the United States District Court of New York in July of last year. 3 men were arrested in porous Manchester following a series of robberies targeting poker boxes at bars in the northeast section of the parish. The men, believed to be from the corporate area, were apprehended in a Toyota Probox during a pre-dawn operation near the Manchester-Clarendon border. The police had set up a roadblock in the porous area where the vehicle was intercepted and searched. 8 poker boxes, believed to be stolen, were found in the vehicle. The men are suspected to have been part of a group involved in the robberies, and it is possible that additional vehicles were used to transport the stolen goods. The Manchester police are awaiting a medical report before pressing charges against the widow of Constable Damian Blair, who was killed at his home in Somerset on May 29th. The widow is currently receiving hospital treatment for a self-inflicted wrist wound. Constable Blair was found with bullet wounds and facial injuries outside his house. Two men from Kingston, Duchesne Gentles and Rohan Gordon, have been charged with the murder of 39-year-old vendor Shelton Watson in Highgate, St. Mary on the 13th of May. The charges against them include murder, wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony. Police responded to reports of gunshots and found Watson and another man with gunshot wounds. Watson later died from his injuries, while the other man was treated and released. Gentles and Gordon were arrested on Tuesday and have since been charged. Two members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force have been arrested for allegedly robbing two Chinese nationals in Kingston. The police officers, dressed in plain clothes, presented themselves as law enforcement officers with a search warrant. They were granted access to the Chinese nationals' business establishment where they allegedly took 8.5 million Jamaican dollars and US $40,000, along with an iPhone 14 from a metal filing cabinet. When the Chinese national objected and requested the money not be taken, the officers assured him it would be returned and asked him to follow them to the police station. However, the officers fled with the money, leaving behind a damaged iPhone that was later tracked to the Queensbury community in Kingston. The arrested officers are facing charges of robbery with aggravation. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is alerting the public about the potential increase in mosquito breeding, particularly the Aedes aegypti mosquito, known for carrying the dengue virus. With increased rainfall, the ministry urges individuals to eliminate mosquito breeding sites in their surroundings to prevent the transmission of dengue. Common breeding sites include drums, tires, buckets, and animal feeding containers. The public is also advised to take protective actions to minimize mosquito contact. In business, the World Bank has maintained its growth projection for Jamaica in its latest Global Economic Prospects Report for 2023. The agency estimates that the Jamaican economy will grow by 2% this year. However, the projection for 2024 has improved by 0.5% compared to the previous forecast. The forecast indicates a growth rate of 1.7% for Jamaica in 2024, with a marginal decline to 1.5% in 2025. In the region, inmates in Haiti's National Penitentiary are suffering from severe hunger, thirst, and overcrowding, leading to malnutrition and deaths. More than 80% of the country's 11,400 inmates are in pretrial detention, with some waiting years to see a judge. A study found that prisoners were consuming fewer than 500 calories a day, putting them at risk of malnutrition-related diseases. Gang violence, fuel and food shortages have exacerbated the crisis, with humanitarian experts warning of an impending catastrophe. The National Penitentiary, designed for 800 inmates, currently houses nearly 4,000. Friends and family who used to bring food have been hindered by violence and transportation shortages. On the international scene, a new artificial intelligence AI tool developed by NYU Grossman School of Medicine can read physicians' notes and accurately predict patients' risks of death, hospital readmission, and other important outcomes. The AI software, called NYU Tron, was trained on millions of clinical notes from the health records of over 387,000 patients. It outperformed most doctors and non-AI computer models in its predictions. The tool correctly identified 95% of patients who died in the hospital before discharge and 80% of patients who would be readmitted within 30 days. However, the study emphasized that AI is not a substitute for a physician-patient relationship, but rather a tool to provide additional information to help physicians make more informed decisions. And in sports, Jamaican athletes dominated the men's Division I long jump event at the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Austin, Texas. Kerry McLeod claimed first place with a leap of 8.26 meters, matching the facility record set in 2021. Wayne Pinnock, also from the University of Arkansas, secured second place with a jump of 8.15 meters, while Jordan Turner from the University of Kentucky finished third with a jump of 8.13 meters. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.